Namaskar. Um, Recently, a former DGP of Uttar Pradesh, Mr. Sulkhan Singh, has raised a very important matter, um, which has been uh, raised earlier also by people, but uh, somehow no action has taken place on this. Um, it is the question of advertisements which are placed by various governments in newspapers. And the way these advertisements are published, you can very well make out that they are uh, meant for the benefit of the ruling party rather than the people. So you have advertisements by the governments on the various schemes. Then you have, advertisements uh, wishing the people well on different occasions. Some of them are religious occasions, and some are dedicated to uh, historical personalities. Um, and uh, then there are, advertisements related to inauguration of projects. So every opportunity that the government gets, it publishes, advertisements, full page advertisements, cover page advertisements, which cost a lot of money. And looking at them, you can tell that it is a waste of public money, because uh, the government is supposed to work for the people, in the interest of the people. And publishing advertisements cannot be said to be in the interest of the people. It doesn't serve any purpose. Uh, the article of the Constitution 282 says that expenditure by the union or a state from its revenues, the union or a state may make grants for any public purpose, notwithstanding that the purpose is not one for which Parliament, as the case may be, the legislature of the state can make laws. Now, something is in public interest only when, let us say, it informs the people about the various government schemes, so that people know how to, what schemes are there, and then they will try to find out how to access the benefits from them, or they gain some essential knowledge about any law, or anything that the government is doing, uh, any change in public policy, or something of that sort. So the purpose of advertisement should be to inform people. But looking at most of the advertisements, we can tell that more than providing any information, they are trying to publicize or project the images of various leaders in power, the chief ministers, the prime minister, various other ministers. Well, mostly the chief minister and the prime minister dominate so much that they don't even allow other ministers, their pictures or names to appear. Uh, so it is essentially the projection of the ruling party. The chief minister or the prime minister is interested in promoting their parties so that they can benefit from the various schemes uh, in the next election. A good example is the rupees 10,000, which was recently given in Bihar by the union government to the women. Now, something like this should not be allowed. I mean, technically it is not allowed, but only after the elections are announced. But the government is very smart. It ensures that these announcements happened before the announcement of the election, just before the announcement of the election. And because they can influence the decision of the election commission also, they can ask them to wait until they have launched all their schemes which can influence the voters in the upcoming election. And this is corruption. I mean, initially there was a practice that parties would give, it is still there, would give money to the voters to buy their votes. Now what the government is doing, it is started with the Kisan Samman Nidhi. They started giving money to the farmers directly in their bank accounts. It's in a small amount, but nevertheless it matters. And we know that people sell their votes for very small amounts, for 500 rupees, 1,000, 2,000, sometimes 3,000 or maybe 5,000. But people are known to sell their votes, and the government is kind of regularizing the practice of corruption, of giving cash by giving the money directly into the bank accounts of the people in the name of some scheme. So this 10,000 which was given to the women of Bihar just before the elections actually should not have been allowed by the election commission, because it was too close to the election and it was a new scheme. But still, the government went ahead and did it, and the election commission did not intervene. And obviously, it is going to have some effect on the voting pattern. So these advertisements and these practices by the government, which are clearly directed at influencing the voters, uh, must come under the ambit of corruption and must not be allowed. Now, the Election Commission is one body, and the other body which can take action is the Comptroller and Auditor General of India. They should be very vigilant. I mean, the Comptroller and Auditor General of India enjoys the immunity of a Supreme Court judge, so they should not be afraid to intervene and say that the kind of spending on the advertisements, and it is shocking that an advertisement of one state is published in another state, uh, where it has no meaning. I mean, why would you know why would you like to advertise the schemes of your government in one state in another state? And actually, the people should be voting for a particular party, even if it is in power, based on the performance of the party and its government, not on the basis of advertisements. So Socialist Party India is of the view that government advertisements for seeking publicity must be totally banned. This is a waste of public money. And now, the since the BJP government has come to power, they have started a new practice. If they are giving jobs, they announce it, publicly. I mean, they organize a public function to hand over the appointment letters to the new people who have been recruited. I mean, this is something which is very ridiculous. I mean, anybody who's getting a job, the job is given by Public Service Commission or whichever authority, used to receive letters at their homes, and then they would go and join at whichever office they were required to come. But the government taking the credit for it, publicly organizing a function, and giving appointment letters from the stage, is again seeking publicity for something which is their normal job. I mean, they have to hire people to run their government. They are not doing a favor to the public or to the people who they are appointing, uh, and they want to get credit for it in the elections, and therefore they hold such functions. It is very shocking. Mr. Tulkhan Singh says that Recently, about 60,000 police officers were appointed by the Uttar Pradesh government, and even if we assume that 2,000 rupees was spent per candidate, then 12 crore rupees would have been spent on the entire function which was organized to hand over appointment letters to the 60,000 police officers. This is shocking. This is utter waste of public money. It is criminal, I would say. In fact, there's a provision in the penal code which says that if the money is not being spent for public welfare and it is being spent for some other purpose, then it is a crime. So it must be considered a crime, and action should be taken suo moto by the Comptroller and Auditor General against any such waste of public money. These advertisements by government should be stopped completely, and only information which is relevant to people and any new information, if there are change in laws or any policy, should be published for the for making the people aware, and that too without the photographs of chief minister, prime minister, or such office bearers. It is shocking that when people were getting COVID vaccines, the certificate bore the photo of the prime minister. So even in a crisis, they are not leaving the people. They are trying to extract every political mileage out of things which is their duty. I mean, it is part of the duty of the prime minister or the chief minister or the government to serve the people. I mean, how can you think of taking credit and extracting political mileage out of your normal functioning? So this must be totally banned. The Comptroller and Auditor General must take a clear stand and stop this misuse of public money uh, for seeking publicity for the ruling party and their office bearers. Thank you.